Hello, I'm gonna go through some question in chapter 20. So let's take a look at the question 7. The models, Caliso model sells 2,600 electronic models each year. The fixed cost per order are $189, and the average variable cost per model is $897. The carrying cost per model is $22. What is the economic order quantity? So the question is about economic order quantity. From the slides, if you read the slides, you should see the economic order quantity formula. So basically, Q quantity calculated Q star calculated by square root of 2 times T times F divided by carrying cost. So T is the number of units sales, which is each year 2,600, and F, which is a fixed cost per order, is 189, and divided by carrying cost. Carrying costs per model is $22. So to do the calculation, you can find the economic order quantity is 211 units. Question 8. Wellington United has currently monthly sales of 311 units at average price of $69 a unit. The variable cost per unit is $47. The monthly interest rate is 8%. Currently, the firm has a cash-only sales policy. How many additional units per month must the company sell to break even on a switch to a net 30 credit policy? So this is talk about switch. In the slides, we talk about the cost of switch and the benefit of switch, and then we're going to talk about MPV. We calculate MPV. So first, the cost of switching is the lost sales from existing policy, and then plus the incremental variable cost with the new policy. So we can find the cost of switching by P times Q, that's current policy. We know the price is $69 and the sales is 311 units. So, and then add the incremental variable cost. So we know the variable cost is per unit $47, and the difference between, which is incremental, the difference between the new sales and the old sales. So new sales, that's what we are looking for. And the current sales Q is 311. So this is the cost of switching. And then we look at the benefit of switching. Benefit switching is calculated by the new sales price minus variable cost per unit, and then times the incremental units sold. And also the benefit of switching is perpetuity. So the formula to calculate benefit of switching is P minus V, which is variable cost, times the difference between the new quantity sales and minus the current sales over R, because perpetuity. So once we figured out the cost and the benefit of switching, the MPV, which is the benefit minus cost, net present value. So this is benefit and the minus cost. To look at the break even, so we set MPV equals 0. Once we set up this equation, we plug the number we know, which is we know the variable cost, we know the price, the new price, and we know old current price, current quantity, current sales. So the variable cost. So when we plug everything to the equation, and we take Q and minus Q, which is the net sales, which is the new sales minus the current sales, equal P times Q divided by P minus V over R minus V. Okay, so over R and then minus V. So calculate that the net, which is additional units per month, would be 7.9 units. So the company need to produce 7.9 additional units. Okay. Question 9. Your company may have the opportunity to make a one-time sales. So one-time sales, provided it grants a new customer 1 month's credits. The sales price of the item is $129. The variable cost is $74, and the relevant interest rate is 0.9% per month. What is net present value of this sales? If there is 25% chance of the customer will default on payments. So from the slides, we know the one-time sales model, which is NPV equal negative variable cost plus 1 minus the probability of default times sales price over 1 plus R. R is interest rate. So we know the variable cost 74, and the default risk is 25%, and the sales price is 129, and the interest rate is 0.9%, so 0.009. So we can find NPV is $21.89. Okay, that's question 9. Next, I'm gonna go through some questions in part 2. So the question 1, you place an order for 250 units of inventory at the unit price $130. The supplier offered terms of 1% discount for 10 days, 1/10, net 30 days. Question A, how long do you have to pay before the account is overdue? If you take the full period, how much should you pay? Okay, so they are 30 days because the policy until the account is overdue. So if you take the full period, you must pay, which is P times Q, the amount, which is the ordered 250, and which each unit $130. So the total amount you need to pay is $32,500. Question B, what is the discount being offered? We know there's 1% discount offered, right? Within a 10 days discount, 10 days with a 10 days discount period. How quickly must you pay to get discount? If you do take the discount, how much should you pay? So if you take the discount 1% with the 10-day discount period, you are only need to pay 1 minus 0.01, which is 99% you need to pay, and the full amount is $32,500. So the money you need to pay is $32,175. That's the amount you need to pay if you take the discount. If you don't take the discount, how much interest are you paying implicitly, and how many days credit are you receiving? So the implicit interest is the difference between the two payment amounts. So we already get if take the full period, the amount is 32,500. If you take a discount, is $32,175. So the implicit interest is the difference, which is $325. And the number of days credit offered, which is 30 days minus 10 days, 20 days. Okay, that's question 1. Question 2. The Red Zeppelin Corporation has annual sales of $31 million. The average collection period 27 days. What is the average investment in accounts receivable? That's question 1. Assume okay, so we only have one question. Assume 365 days per year. So first calculate the receivable turnover. Receivable turnover is calculated by 365 days divided by average collection period. So average collection period is 27 and 365 over 27. So the receivable turnover is 13.519 times. And then the average receivables would be calculated by sales over receivable turnover. So the average investment in account receivable is $2,293,150.68. Okay, that's about the average receivables. Next, let's take a look at question 5. A firm offered terms 1/10, so 1% within the discount 10 days and the net 30 days. What effective annual interest rate? So the question asks you a EAR or effective annual interest rate does the firm earn when a customer does not take the discount? Without doing any calculation, explain what will happen to this effect rate if. So we have 3 scenarios. So first, calculate the effective annual interest rate. So first, we need to find the interest rate for the term of the discount. Interest rate calculated by the 1 is 1% discount, so 0.01. And then you need to pay 0.99. So the ratio, which is 0.0101, so 1.01 is interest rate. So this interest rate is for 20 days because you get the discount. So using the EAR equation, we can find the effective annual interest rate by 1 plus pure rate. We find the pure rate is 1.01%. And M count like how many days, because the interest rate for 20 days and 365 days. So M equals 365 over 20 and minus 1. So that's the EAR. EAR is 20.13%. So effective, if the discount is changed to 2%. So if discount changed to 2%, the interest rate gonna be changed by 0.02 over 0.98, which is 1 minus 0.02. So the interest rate is 2.04%. So interest rate change, the EAR will change with the interest rate, and the discount period the same. So you're gonna find the EAR is 44.59%. And the case 2, if the credit period increased to 45 days rather than 30 days, then the EAR is calculated by, this is the pure rate based on the 1% discount and the 365 over 35 days because 10 days discount, so 45 minus 10, So 35 days. You will find the AR is 11.05%. And the last case, the discount period is increased to 15 days. So 10 become 15 days. Then AR, again, the period rate the same because same discount rate, 1%. And the interest rate for 30 without discount minus 15, so 15 days, the period. And then the EAR is 27.71%. Okay. Next, let's take a look at the question 9. Question 9 is, boss is a wholesale seller that stocks engine components and test equipment for the commercial aircraft industry. A new customer has placed an order for 8 high-power bypass turbine engines, which increase the fuel economy. The variable cost, so that's information we are looking for. The variable cost is 1.6 million per unit. The credit price is $1.725 million each. The credit extends for 1 period, and based on the historical experience, the payment for about 1 out of every 200 such order is never collected. So that's default rate. The required return is 1.8% per period. Question 8. Assume that this is one-time order. Should it be filled? The customer will not buy if the credit is not extended. All right, so question A, you should use the one-time order model. So the cash outlay for credit decision is the variable cost. So if this is the one-time order, the cash inflow is the present value of the sales price times 1 minus default probability. So that's the model for one-time order. So we know the variable cost, 1.6 million per unit. We know the probability default 1 over 200. And the price, the price is 1.725 million per order, and the interest rate is 1.8%, so 1 plus R. You're gonna find the MPV is positive $86,000 to $26.52 per unit, so it's positive. The company should fill the order. Question B, what is the break-even probability of default in part A? So to find the break-even probability, which is pi, we should set up MPV equals 0. So MPV equals 0, and we are looking for pi. So we can solve pi from the equation. Pi is 5.58%. So we should not accept the order if the default probability is higher than 5.58%. So that's break-even probability default. Question C. Suppose the customer who don't default become repeat customer and place the same order every period forever. Further, assume that the repeat customer never default. Should the order be filled? What is break-even probability of default? So this is a question about repeat customer. So we're gonna do the model, use the model for repeat customer. The cash inflow is change. The cash inflow is 1 minus default probability, and then times price minus variable cost. And because this is the repeat forever, perpetuity, so divided by R. And then the MPV is calculated by minus, which is negative variable cost, 1.6 million, add 1 minus the default risk is 1/200. And then you're gonna figure out NPV is 5,309,722.22%. So it's positive NPV. The company should fill the order, and the break-even probability similar to question B. We assume NPV equals 0 and we find the pi. So to solve the equation, we find the pi is 76.96%. So if the default probability higher than 76.96%, we should not accept the order. And this default probability is much higher than the default probability in part B, because the customer may become a repeat customer. All right, so question D. Describe in general terms why credit terms will be more liberal when repeat orders are possibility. So it is assumed if a person has paid his bill in the past, they will pay the bill in the future. So this implies if someone doesn't default when credit is first granted, then they will be a good customer far into the future, and the possibility gain from the future business outweigh the possibility loss from granting credit the first time. Okay. Okay, so let's see question 10. A company is considering a change in its cash-only sales policy. The new terms of sales would be net a month. Based on the following information, determine the company should proceed or not. Describe the build-up receivable. In this case, the required 10, not 0.95% of the month. So this is again talk about switching. We're going to talk about the cost of switching, the benefit of switching, and NPV equal the benefit of switching minus the cost of switching. So the cost of switching, like we talked about that in the previous question, is the lost sales from existing policy plus the incremental variable costs under the new policy. So based on the information we know, the current policy, the price is $630. The unit is 1,240. So that's the lost sales, and then the cost per unit is $495, and the units Q new policy minus Q current policy, which is 1,310 minus 1,240. So we can find the cost of switching is $815,850. And then the benefit of switching is new sales price minus variable costs, and then times the incremental sales unit sales. And because this is a perpetuity, so we do P minus V, price minus variable cost, and the incremental quantity sales over R perpetuity. So we do find that's benefit of switching. Then NPV is based on the benefit minus cost. The NPV is $178,886.84. So this is the positive, and the answer should be the company should proceed. The firm will have to bear the cost of sales for 1 month before they receive any revenue from credit sales, which is why the initial cost is for 1 month. And also receivables will grow over 1 month credit period and then remain stable with the payments and the new sales offsetting another. So that's question 10. So for other question I didn't go through, please do them, and if you have any question, let me know. That's all. Thank you.